Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I am going to do SAM project 1B Excel module 3 performing calculation with formulas and function. Basically this is the third module of Excel section of this course, and in this video I will be doing this assignment step by step so that you can get your assignment done by watching this complete video. But if you want me to do this assignment for you, or if you want me to do this complete course for you, my WhatsApp number and email is showing at the bottom of the screen. You can contact me either through WhatsApp or email, and you can hire me for your complete course. You can also hire me for your other courses like accounting, management, finance, information technology, computer sciences, all other writing assignments, mathematics or statistics. So our first task is to click start button, because we are supposed to download the materials to do this assignment. So there are two files, one is the instruction file and other one is the start file or the solution file. So we're going to use this start file to solve this assignment. So I will click download all to download these files. So first of all I will open the instruction file. So this is the instruction file. So new perspectives Excel 365 2021 module 3 SAM project 1B, and the title of the assignment is Math Site Instrument. And in this assignment we gonna perform calculations with formulas and functions. So in this video I will be doing this step by step, and you are just supposed to follow me to get this done for you. But if you want me to do this for you, my WhatsApp number and email is showing. You can contact me either through WhatsApp or email. So getting started with the assignment, we are supposed to download this Excel workbook, that is NPEX 365 2021 3B. So I have already downloaded this file. So new perspectives Excel 365 / 2021 module 3 SAM project 1B Math Site Instrument. Basically this is the third chapter of Excel section of this course, and in this video I will be doing this assignment step by step so that you can get your assignment done by watching this complete video. But if you want me to do this assignment for you, or if you want me to do this complete course for you, my WhatsApp number and email is showing at the bottom of the screen. You can contact me either through WhatsApp or email, and you can hire me for your complete course. So I am going to use this file to solve this assignment. You have to download this file first, because all of the question will be solved in this Excel workbook, and we will make this Excel workbook in the final form for the submission. So your first task is to download this Excel workbook. So now you can see that there is nothing else to do in getting started section. So getting started section is just about downloading the file. So I have already downloaded the file. So now we will move to main part of the assignment, that is project steps to complete this assignment. And total steps to complete this assignment are 15. So we are supposed to solve 15 questions to get this assignment ready for the submission. So I will solve step by step, and you are just supposed to follow me if you want to get this done for you. So now let's start doing the questions. So now let's do first step of the assignment. So Amy Zaho is a financial analyst with Math Site Instrument, a global manufacturer of medical instrument and devices. The Math Site Auditory Instrument division is planning to manufacture and market an innovative hearing aid suitable for all ages. Amy is using an Excel workbook to estimate the sales, expenses and profits of new device. So the thing to do is switch to unit sales projection worksheet. Use the values in the range C5 up to D5 to fill the range E5 up to I5. So first of all we will go to unit sales projection worksheet. Now you can see that C5 and D5 has values. So we are supposed to extend these increment up to I5. So for this we will select these two values, and we will use the fill handle to drag it to right up to I5. So now you can see that we got the increment of 4 into remaining cells like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 and 28. Because we were supposed to get the increment of these two values in step number 1. So we used a fill handle so that we can get the remaining values up to I5. So that is all about step number 1 of the assignment. So now let's do step number 2. Use the values and formatting in the range B6 up to B7 and extend the list of year so that ranges B8 up to B10 and projected 5 year of growth. So now you can see that we have the increment, we have the years, list of year in cell B6 and B7. So we are supposed to extend the list of this year up to a B10 as required in step number 2. So for this we will select these two, that is 2024 and 2025. Now we are supposed to extend this up to B10 so that we can get a list of 5 years. So we will use fill handle to drag it down up to B10. So we got a list of 5 years starting from 2025 and ending at 2028. So we were supposed to extend the list of year up to B10, and that is all about step number 2 of this assignment, where we were supposed to extend this list. So I have extended the list of this year up to B10 of the column B. So that is all about step number 2. So we are done with second step of this assignment as well. Now we're going to do next step, that is step number 3. And step number 3 is saying use autofill to fill the range C8 up to I10 with the formatting from range C6 up to I7 to apply a consistent format in the projections. So now we are supposed to use autofill the range C6 up to I10 with the formatting from the range C6 up to I7. C6 up to I7 is here. C6 up to I7 we will select this. Now we are supposed to use the autofill with the formatting. So now we are supposed to copy this formatting up to I10 as mentioned in the I10 as mentioned in the instruction. So first of all we will select this C6 up to I10 and we will use the fill handle up to I10. So now we are supposed to copy the formatting only. So we will go to the option and from here we will select fill formatting only, because we are supposed to copy the formatting only. So I will select this option, that is fill formatting only. So now you can see that we have copied the formatting from C6 up to I7 into range C8 up to I10 as required in step number 3. So we were supposed to copy the formatting. So I have copied the formatting as well. And now we're going to do next step of this assignment, that is step number 4, because we have completed 3 steps of this assignment so far, and now we're going to do next step, that is step number 4. Step number 4. Step number 4 has 3 subparts. So it is saying enter formulas as follows to complete the table of projection in the range C6 up to I6. So first part, part A. In cell C7, create a formula without using a function. So in cell C7, create a formula without using a function that multiplies the sales projection for the first year cell C6 by the first growth rate and adds a sales projection for the first year C6 to the result to determine the first estimate for 2025. So first of all, we are supposed to go to cell C7. We will type an equal sign. Then this is saying multiplies the sales projection for the first year cell C6. So we are supposed to multiply the sales projection for the first year, that is C6. Sales projection for the C6, we will multiply this by the first growth rate cell C5. So we will multiply this by C5. We are supposed to multiply C6 by C5. So we are supposed to multiply C6 by C5. Then it is saying add the sales projection for the first year C6 to the result determined. So now we are supposed to add C6 to this. Okay. Then it is saying, so we will get the result. So we got the result. Okay. Now that is part A. Now let's do part B. Part B is saying use an absolute cell reference to row 5 in the reference to cell C5. So you can see that C5, row 5 is the static value, that is the growth rate, like C5, D6, D5, E5, F5, G5. So you can see that row 5 is not changing, only column name is changing. So in this formula, we will make row 5 to static by using dollar sign. So we will make it absolute. So use dollar sign here. Okay. And that will be the result. And that is all about step number. Now that is all about step number 4 part B. So now let's do part C. Copy the formula from C7 to the range C8 and C10. So we will use fill handle to copy this formula down up to C10. So we got these results. Now next thing it is saying copy the formula from C7 up to C10 to D7 up to I10. So we will select C7 up to C10, use fill handle and drag it to right up to I10. So we will get all the results. So we got all the results here. So now let me match the result with the figure, your answer. So you can see that our results are exactly same as given in the figure. So that's mean we have done these steps correctly. So now we're gonna do next step, that is step number 5, because we have completed 4 steps of this assignment so far. Step number 5, switch to cost analysis worksheet. So now we are supposed to move to cost analysis worksheet. So cost analysis worksheet now, which analyze the vendor and shipping cost per unit to sales. Select a vendor and shipper for the product. In cell B10, find the average vendor cost per unit by creating a formula using the average function to calculate the average of the values in range B5 up to B8. So we will first go to cell B10 here, and we are supposed to get the average of these 4 values here, because we are going to get the average vendor cost per unit in cell B10. So we will type equal sign and we will type average here, double click on the average function. So now we are supposed to select the range for which we are going to get the average. So we are going to get the average of these 4 values, that is starting from cell B5 up to B8, because we are going to get the average vendor cost per unit in cell B10. So press enter. So 49.24 is the average of these 4 values, and 49.24 is the average vendor cost per unit. So that what we are supposed to do. Now it is saying copy the formula to cell E10 to find the average shipping cost per unit. So now in cell B10 we calculated the average vendor cost per unit. Now in cell E10 we are going to get the average shipping cost per unit. So we will again use average function to get the average of these 4 values. So we can simply copy the formula from cell B10. So select B10, then click copy. Then go to cell E10, go to paste, and from here select the formulas. So now 8.19 is the average shipping cost per unit. That is the average of these four values. So this is the average of these four values, and this is the average of these four values. And that is all about step number 5. So we have completed 5 steps of this assignment so far. And now we're gonna do next step, that is step number 6. Step number 6. In cell B11, find the highest vendor cost per unit by creating a formula using the max function to identify the maximum values in the range B5 up to B8. Copy the formula to cell E11 to find the highest shipping cost per unit. So now in step number 6, we are supposed to get the highest cost per unit and highest vendor cost per unit, and in cell E11 we are supposed to get the highest shipping cost per unit. So first of all, we will go to cell B11, we will type equal sign and we will type maximum function. Double click on this function. So now we are going to get the highest of these 4 values. So I will select these 4 values, okay, because we are going to get the highest vendor cost per unit. So select these 4 values. So press enter. So now you can see that 52.12 is the highest among these 4 values. You can see these 4 values and you can see clearly that 52.12 is the highest among these 4 values. So 52.12 is the maximum or highest vendor cost per unit. Now in cell E11 we will calculate the highest shipping cost per unit. So now you can see these 4 values 8.12, 8.22, 7.98 and 8.43. So our result should be 8.43 in cell E11. So for this we will copy this formula again. Copy this, go to cell E11 and use paste options and select formulas. So now you can see that 8.43 is the maximum among these 4 values. So 8.43 is the highest shipping cost per unit as we are supposed to calculate in step number 6. So we are done with step number 6. Now let's do step number 7. Step number 7 is in cell B12. Find the lowest vendor cost per unit by creating a formula using the minimum function to identify the minimum value in the range B5 up to B8. Then we are supposed to copy this formula to cell E12. So similar or just like previous 2 steps where we were supposed to get the average of these 4 values and maximum of these 4 values. So now we are supposed to get the lowest or minimum these 4 values to get the minimum or lowest vendor cost per unit and the lowest shipping cost per unit. So first we will calculate the lowest vendor cost per unit. For this we will use the minimum function. Double click on this function. Now select the range. So these are the 4 values for which we are going to get the lowest cost or for which we are going to get the minimum. So select these and press enter. So you can see that 45.98 is the minimum among these 4 values. So 45.98 is the minimum vendor cost per unit because 45.98 is the minimum among these 4 values or is the lowest among these 4 values. So now we are supposed to copy this formula, copy this, go to cell E12 and use paste special and select formulas. So now you can see that 7.98 is the minimum among these 4 values. So we got the result 7.98 is the lowest shipping cost per unit. So we are done with 7 steps of this assignment so far. So in this video I have solved 7 steps for you. That is half of the assignment. But if you want me to do this complete assignment for you, or if you want me to do this complete course for you, my WhatsApp number and email is showing at the bottom of the screen. You can contact me either through WhatsApp or email, and you can hire me for your complete course, including all the Word, Excel, PowerPoint or Access assignments. You can contact me for your other courses like accounting, management, finance, information technology, computer sciences, all other writing assignments and programming assignments as well. So thank you so much for watching my video. I will get back to you with another useful solution. Thank you so much again.